Hi everyone, we've got a shorter video here for you today. It's an amendment to the full song tutorial that I did of Peace Sells a while back. In that full tutorial, which I'll link to in the description for anyone who's curious of a full breakdown of that song. But in that tutorial, I positioned the first solo that Chris Poland does incorrectly. I played that solo at the 12th fret area instead of at the 9th fret area where he plays it. I was just strictly using my ear. I didn't have any live footage to go off of, but unfortunately I got that wrong. But since then, I've come across live footage, which was awesome because it zoomed in on him playing that exact lick at that moment, and it's a super clear shot, exactly how he plays it. It's verbatim from the album. So I'll also link to that in the description for anybody curious to watch Chris actually play it himself. And the thing that threw me off was those first two notes. The first two notes of the lick is a G sharp and a G. So we can play that at the 13th and 12th fret of G. You could also get those two pitches on 9 and 8 of the B string. But if you do a pull off like that, the rest of the lick doesn't really make sense, how it doesn't really fall under the fingers very easily. So it wasn't until I watched the live footage that I realized he's not actually doing a pull off there at all. Right? He's doing a quick little economy or sweep picking motion and getting those two pitches on adjacent strings. So let's go over this lick the correct way, and I'll just play the first little bit of it for you. Okay, we start off with a bend on the 12th fret of G. And it's really a cool lick. He's got little nuances going on. And that first note, there's a little nuance there too, because it's the minor third bending up, but it's not quite a whole step. It's a little bit less than a whole step. So he's really playing with that major and minor third tonality. Get it, really milking that idea for all it's worth. So we bend that almost a whole step, but not quite. And then we have that little economy picking motion where we have 9 on the B string, 12 on G, and you do that twice. Now, when you get to that 12th fret on G the second time, pull off to 9, hammer back to 12. And notice how he uses a lot of upstrokes here. I don't really think you have to duplicate the picking exactly, but I wanted to get it as close as possible for you the way Chris plays it. Okay, so after we've done this, we come up to the B string, pick 9, hammer to 10 and 12. Now, this is where you'll have to briefly shift out of position. You get the 8th fret on the high E string, coming back into position on the B string, 12, 10, 9, pulling off. And then 12, 10, 9, pull offs again on the G string. Okay, so let's put that together nice and slow. Okay, then the rest of the lick from that point. Okay, so we did the down to the 9th fret of G, hammer to the 12th fret again, come back up to the B string, pick 9, hammering to 12, pulling off to 10 to 9. Okay, down to 12 on G. Then come back up to the B string, 10 to 9, pull off. Now back down to the G string, pluck 12 and 10, pull off to 9. Do the same thing on the D string, 12, 10, pull off to 9. Do the same thing on A, 12, 10, pull off to 9. And then just 12, 10 on the low E string. And that takes care of the fast run. It ends with a little pentatonic lick at the very end. But let's just put that whole fast line together. And then we end with this. Okay, so there's actually a bend, a little half step bend. Hit the 14th fret on B, bend that half a step. And then we come up 12 on the high string, 15 to 12 pull off on B. Now we want to pluck 14 on G, pull off to 12, and then bend it just a little quarter step to half a step. That little quarter to half step bend there at the end is again playing with that major minor third idea. Okay, so there's the whole lick. Let's put it together nice and slow. Okay, so there is a full breakdown of the way that Chris actually played that lick on the album. Please like, subscribe, and share if you found this helpful and you enjoyed it and you want to see more of this kind of content. And before I wrap up, I just want to make mention that I have started a Patreon. So if you want to dig deeper into some things that I don't have the time or the space in these videos to talk about on YouTube, we can dig deeper over there. This video, for instance, I'm going to do a very brief breakdown, getting into the theory a bit more. We'll talk about where this idea was generated from, mixing Phrygian dominant and Aeolian scale ideas. So it is going to be some theory intensive stuff over there, but it's going to be stuff that, digging deeper than I can on a lot of these videos that we'll be doing question and answers, lives, behind the scenes. How do I shoot my videos? Answering your questions. You can influence video topics, you name it. It's going to be over there eventually. So if that sounds good to you, hop over there and check it out, and I'll see you soon.